Bringing morality into government entities is another promise by Trump's agency leaders that many are praising. Newly confirmed director of the National Institutes of Health, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, promised to implement ethical standards in research, particularly the use of aborted fetal tissue.
Do you support that policy? Will you prohibit the use of aborted fetal tissue in NIH research, NIH-funded research?
Senator, I'll absolutely follow the lead of Secretary Kennedy and President Trump on this. In public health, we need to make sure the products of the science are ethically acceptable to everybody. And so having alternatives that are not ethically conflicted to fetal stem cell lines is not just an ethical issue, but it's a public health issue.
Joining us now to discuss the government's use of aborted fetal tissues and President Trump's stance on IVF is Michael Vaca, Director of Ministry, Bioethics, and Membership Experience at the Christ Medicus Foundation. Mike, how long have embryos been used for research, and what kind of research are they doing with these embryos?
Thank you so much. So Louise Brown was the very first child that on record as having been conceived through IVF. That was 1978. Since then, there's been extensive research on vulnerable embryos, research on the embryos themselves, the extraction of embryonic stem cells, which are used for therapeutics, and also, unfortunately, what they call chimeric embryos, which is where they mix the cells of an embryo with another species. So they might mix cells from an embryo with a pig or with a rat. And this is tragic because it does not provide appropriate respect for the dignity of the human person. And it is, in fact, a grave abuse of an innocent, vulnerable child.
Now, President Trump signed an executive order to lower the cost of in vitro fertilization and improve access to the controversial procedure. Can you talk about why the church opposes IVF and the implications an order like this can have?
Yeah, so I just want to say initially that we very much understand the pain and the suffering that couples go through. My wife and I have struggled with infertility for 9 years, so this is coming from a place of love. IVF is a horrendous violation of the dignity of the human person because what it does is it separates the unitive from the procreative. It separates life from love. Every child has the right to be conceived underneath his or her own mother's heart. And instead, these children are placed in a test tube in a cold, sterile environment. Many of them are cryogenically frozen. They're experimented on. They are treated as a commodity, as something that can be bought and sold, rather than as a human person, as the subject of rights. I mean, you want to talk about modern day slavery. These children are exploited in the worst possible way. And this is a grave abuse and an insult to our Creator. And so we really pray and we need to work to make sure people understand the evil of this. Now, I do think that many people their heart is moved by the desire to have children, and that's a beautiful gift. We have to make sure that we do that in an ethically appropriate way. And so we definitely do not want to make this easier. We want to promote alternatives, natural family planning, the Creighton model of fertility, other techniques that are very much consistent with the nature of the human person and with the authentic gift of marriage.
Thank you, Michael Vaca.
God bless you.